Hello, it's Mark Grogan from O'Neill Real Estate, and that fancy little bit of camera work I just gave you there is about as fancy as it's going to get for the rest of this tour. This is number 9, as you saw from the letterbox, 9 Stanford Street in Maddington. And it is an 809... Oh, there we go again. Another one. No, that wasn't that great. 9 Stanford Street in Maddington. As I said, it was going to get worse from there. This is going to need some stuff. It is going to need some stuff done. It needs a whole bunch of work. But I know if you're watching this video, of course you can. Of course you can, because you like making a profit. And that's what you're going to do. I reckon you're going to do all right out of this one. It does need some pretty serious work, but the good thing is you don't have to undo anyone's attempts to do the work, because no one's attempted to do anything. Since, I reckon, well, put it this way, since they made doorbells like this, so that sort of doorbell, since they made things like that, no one ain't done nothing. And we have the original timber floors, probably, and I dare say, with the original dirt on them. They are not looking too flash, but you know what? I reckon they'll actually come up fine. They do need that sand. They do need that polish. And that is probably going to kick things off okay. A lot of the hard work has been done. Deconstructing somebody else's work is one of the first things. So nature has taken its course with the plexiglass ceiling and already started that for you just by, using gravity. So gravity has taken care of the ceiling in the kitchen and brought that down for you. So it brought it down with all the insulation that was up there. I don't know if it was insulation or if it was just dust. There was enough of it. Anyhow, that is done. So now you just need to come in, finish the job, but it's like peeling a sticker off, like you've got to get that first bit, and that's been done. So you just got to keep on, pull the rest of that down, put in a new ceiling, and Bob's your uncle. And in this case, it was not Bob who was the uncle, but it was somebody's uncle who owned this. And the house itself was pretty untouched by the old uncle. But that's the makings of something good. So the kitchen has great workspace. You can get up to, I reckon, in a row, you get 15 rats sort of just chunk, 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 if they're already dead and not wriggling around after they've had a good feed of the rat sack. So that should be fine. 15 rats comfortably. 15 if they were long. I reckon if you went this way, you can get a few on there. Now, this is one of the highlights, but it is going. So that's the old Metta's stove. It was never connected to anything. So it sat there doing nothing since the start of time. You're going to put something fancy in there, I know. So, that's gone. So a decent sized pantry. I don't know what's in here. Anything? No. Interesting. So it's the pantry. It's in the pantry spot, but it's got a rail in there so you can hang stuff. Maybe that was for curing meats. I do not know, but I reckon you'll make changes to that as well. Let's go and have a look. Oh, check it out. Behind the wallpaper that fell off, something happened in 1969. And I believe the word written below it is good. And I think we're going to use that as the basis for our way of assessing this property. The wallpaper's off, good. The floors don't need any polish sanded off them because it was never polished in the first place, so good. And this wallpaper, this will come off fairly easily because good. I hope you didn't want that. I really hope you didn't want that. So this is bedroom number 2. It's not the main bedroom. The main bedroom we'll see in a moment, but you get the drift. This one, the ceiling actually looks okay. We've got a structural report available, so you can read that and put all that into context. So there's a couple of different colours that could work in here. Blue or dirt brown. Both are fine, but sort of just pick one, I'd say. If it's going to be all blue, go all blue. If it's going to be dirt brown, just dirty the whole wall up rather than just patches. Now in here we have the main bedroom. So this is a good size. The flooring is obviously the same timber, so you can carry that through. Wardrobes can stay. Don't know if you want them. But if you do, let me know and we'll make sure that they're left at settlement. It is an as is, where is with all stuff kind of sale. There's nothing inside, really, apart from the wardrobes. So, you know, they'll get you started. And here we have the pink room, as it was affectionately known. A house like this, you do need to be able to identify the rooms by their colours, so no one gets confused as to which room you're talking about. So this is the pink room. And window treatments, still quite, oh good golly, all right. Yeah, you can replace those. We have a hole in the ceiling. That was due to a leak. Now, the floor is dry. It rained yesterday and it's been raining a little bit today and there's no water on the floor. So I do think that would probably have been some previous damage, but again, the old plexiglass ceilings, you're probably going to need to do something with that. That was a stain of some sort, but look, it's already coming off. So nothing too concerning there. The bathroom, aptly named because there is a bath in this wonderful space. And check out the plumbing work. What has gone on here? Yep. So some kind of, I guess it's industrial, you know, like that's actually a bit of a look these days. If you look in some of the bathroom magazines, there we go. It's beautiful. Shed some light on this situation. And you've got the industrial style plumbing, which you could work with, or you could just be boring and go conventional. It's up to you. But the space is there. It looks like it won't be too difficult to make the changes to this space. And there you go, look at that. See, it's not every day you get spare tiles left by the previous owner. But here we have some spare tiles. So you can use those to continue on with what's started. Now I was going to say the vanity. I think that would be a stretch to imply that anything close to vanity has been one of the many sins that appears to have been committed in here. However, so I think we're going to get off scot-free on vanity. But you know what? You can make this look nice. Forget all this stuff, obviously you'll rip that out. But you will make it look nice. It's very possible. It does have a pink ceiling, so do not adjust your phone. The ceiling was painted pink, the walls were left wall colour. But a good space to work with nevertheless. Bit of storage here. That's all in decent condition. So have you got a pretty good idea as to what's going on inside? I've been waffling on for 8 minutes. I reckon you've got a pretty good idea. The laundry. Now, far be it from me to suggest that this is not the place to clean your clothes, because it is. But a laundry doesn't need to be as big as this is. This is huge for a laundry, really. I mean, it's not huge, but it's adequate for a laundry. There's a toilet there, and then like a space that I don't know if you need it. Do you need that? Because what I reckon you could potentially do is move the laundry over onto that side, have some more storage here, or potentially, and I know if you're watching this far into it, you may well be one of those flippers that likes to flip a property. This is a hard flip. It's not hard to do it, but you know, it's not just get in, get out. You could potentially work with this space. Obviously, we've got the plumbing there. To do a second bathroom, or to do something in the way of a scullery or whatever off of here. You know how you flippers have your scullery skullduggery that you come up with? You come up with spaces to put things and places to make things look good. I reckon you could make that work. The floor plan will be online for you to have a proper look at. Just frightened a bin chicken. Good grief. The bin chicken doing in the backyard? Oh, that's right, it's here. Legitimately, because there's so much junk. But I don't think a bin chicken would be able to feast on any of that. That's mostly steel. They will eat anything, I think, but I don't know about steel and old slabs. I don't think that's their scene. Now, the property is connected to main sewer. This was the old septic tank. So that has been decommissioned in the sense that it's no longer operational. Am I going to jump in? No, I'm not. But I would say that, you know, whatever's down the bottom. You've got the makings of the first bit of your new garden there. Bed that down there with some of that dirt from the bottom and everything will grow and grow very, very well. So the property is on main sewer though. And with a block this size, it leaves you with some options. Look into what those might be by contacting the City of Gosnells. Certainly lends itself to nice big granny flat or something like that out here, or just a big backyard. It's a bobcat job largely. Like, you're going to have to get in here and, you know, flatten that, get a nice patio going off the back of that house. The gutters are a little bit, well, the question is there's so much rust in those gutters and bits where they're missing. Is it half gutted or is it sort of half gutted the other way? I don't know in terms of what exists, but there's clear need for new gutters just along that back strip there, and probably along the front strip and the side strip. But it's just a rectangle, like it's pretty easy to work with. All right, so down the back we have just some more old bits of junk. Scrap metal. An old chook pen. It's not heritage listed. In here we've got some old mattresses. It is as is, whereas with all old mattresses and old bits of newspaper that were half eaten by termites. What do we got? Okay. July 1984, 9th of July 1984. Bit of that stuff going on. But that's, I don't know who won something. Somebody's holding up a cup. You can tell me what big event happened on the 9th of July 1984 in sport. That's enough of that. You need a bobcat. That's what I said before. I'll stand by that. I've just shown you lots of evidence that you need a bobcat. Around the back, though, everything else appears to be in fair order. There's a bit of stuff to get rid of, but nothing too major. We do have another shed over here. Kind of the same story inside there. Nothing too huge to deal with, but there's some old junk. I believe it was the sort of property where the fellow who was living here would go and find some, just find some stuff and then bring it home and then put it somewhere. And then, I don't know if he forgot he had some stuff, but he would go out and get some more just in case he ran out of stuff. And he never did run out of stuff. You can see here that there's more stuff. I'll just quickly show you in here so you know what you're working with. Just more stuff. Stuff he found. Brought it home. Put it in his pile of stuff. But that's just life, isn't it? It's a collection of stuff. And then your stuff's still there even when you're not. And somebody who buys a house to flip it probably can get rid of that pretty quickly. But if you're a first home buyer or a second home buyer, I don't know which number you are up to with your homes that you're buying, it is a good one to work with. It would look really cute when it's finished. That's the truth of it. It's a very practical location. You don't have to look too hard on Google Maps to see that it's really close to a whole lot of stuff. Up the end of the street, you've got parks, tennis courts, shops, quick access to Tonkin Highway, quick access to schools, the whole lot. It's a very practical place to be. Hopefully that shows you everything you need to see. Did you want to see down this side? If you're making this decision off this video, you're probably going, what about the other side? I can show you. I don't think there's much to see. Just an old vine. Okay. And a newspaper that seems to be in reasonable order. Yeah, okay. Right, what have we got? It's a good year. April 18th, 1984. Any ads for O'Neill Real Estate amongst all of this? Woolly. Oh, there you go. I remember them from when I was a young kid. Okay, well, you didn't need to see that. That's there for when you get here. You can go through all of the old newspaper bits and pieces that you find. But you never know. There might be something interesting. You could strike gold. I think you will if you get the property anyway. It's going to take some work, but you'll get it there. I believe in you. If you have any further questions, hit me up. It's Mark Grogan from O'Neill Real Estate. Thanks for taking, gee whiz, a quarter of an hour to have a look around here. And I look forward to showing you around in person. Or if you've seen enough to go, yeah, that's me, well, get in touch. We'll send you the details on how to make an offer. And we look forward to seeing what you turn it into. Thanks very much for watching.